Your nasty ass.
What's going on, you guys? My name is Noel and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is my commentary entertainment channel where I talk about TV shows, social issues, whatever it is that I want to talk about. And I get into it and I have fun. So if you're interested in the things that I am interested in, then like, comment, subscribe, and join us because it's a good time. And I'm honestly, let me get my thoughts together. It's been a while, y'all. A lot of things have happened in the world. My mind is everywhere. Honestly, I've been talking a lot about reality TV. I'm gonna get into some more content, but reality TV has been what I've been doing a lot lately, so yes. And y'all be watching it, so I'ma keep doing what the people are watching, period. If you would like to follow me on social media, you can follow me on Instagram. It's gonna go somewhere on the screen. Give it a few more seconds. Yes. Or you can follow me on Twitter. Yes, peruse, go on there, follow me. See the things that I retweet, the things that I tweet when I find the time to tweet, the presence to tweet. Do those. Do that. Get into it. Okay. And with the intro out of the way, let's get into the topic of this video, y'all. I've been wanting to make this video a while. As you can see, I'm in my new apartment. I have moved. I have signed a lease. I have paid my first month's rent. Ew. And here we are. Here we are in a new place, and I will be here for the next 3 years. So, yes. But hey, new place, new life, new chapter, yada yada yada. We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Jocelyn's Cabaret because I watched it and I have thoughts. And I've been wanting to make this video for a long time, but I just did not have the time to do it. So I'm gonna do it today because I have thoughts on this show. And honestly, sometimes I be feeling like a really lazy content creator because other content creators will be watching Jocelyn's Cabaret and be doing like episode by episode breakdown. But y'all, the drama on this show is so petty and messy that I am not going to dedicate like 10 videos per episode. I don't know. Maybe one day I will. Maybe one day when my schedule is stable enough for me to, you know, sit down and watch a show episode by episode and then make a video episode by episode, I'll do it. But right now, we're not here. So what is Jocelyn's Cabaret? For those of you who are innocent enough to click on this video and not know what I'm talking about, Jocelyn's Cabaret is basically Bad Girls Club and dancing. Yeah, that's accurate. I would say that's accurate. I think that's accurate. It is basically Jocelyn Hernandez is living her fantasy of being a madam, and she has brought 10 girls into this Atlanta mansion to terrorize them, to call them drunks, ugly, homeless, fat, just degrading these girls beyond belief. But that is what the premise of the show. But basically, yeah, it's basically just that. It's basically Jocelyn Hernandez taking out all the trauma that she has endured on Love and Hip Hop and from Stevie J and inflicting it on 10 girls. I didn't watch season 1. I know Jocelyn done beat up one of the girls in season 1. We saw it in the intro of the first episode. But Jocelyn is basically tormenting these girls. Like, not the whole time, but I'm gonna get to that later. But other than that, there's 10 girls and Jocelyn has 4 slots open. Yes, I almost forgot. Yes, I know what I'm talking about. I watched this show. I did. It may not seem like it now, but I did. Yes, Jocelyn has 10 girls, but she only has 4 spots on her cabaret dance team or cabaret production or whatever it is. Wherever it is. We'll get to that later. But yeah, she only has 4 spots. So these 10 girls are all competing for 4 spots, and those 4 girls will perform a Jocelyn in her Vegas show of Jocelyn's Cabaret, and 1 girl out of the 4 will win $10,000, 10K, 10 stacks, 10 big ones, 10 grand, period. Yes. So that's what it is. But in between the competition and the money, we got drinking, we got girls smoking weed, we got girls throwing hands, we got girls getting naked, we got girls going to the club, we got girls going home, girls getting beat up, we got girls going wild. That is it. That is a very accurate statement, and I'm gonna stand on it 10 toes. I'm trying to think of a way to do this, so I'm gonna do it this way. So there are 10 girls on the show, so instead of me like giving a long rant on each one, I'm gonna say their name. There's a few that I'm interested in talking about. I'm gonna say their name and I'm gonna input a meme that tells you how I feel about them. And I think from now on when I talk about shows, this is what I'm gonna do. So this is what I'm feeling like I'm due, and I'm gonna do it. Period. Okay, so number 1, Lucky.
Purr. Yes, purr.
Blueface Barbie.
I don't think so.
Chanel.
You know what? I don't know.
Sapphire.
She is the mother I never had.
Aqua.
It was bad for her. It was really bad for her.
Miss Natural.
Purr, yes, purr.
Lexi Blow.
Purr, yes, purr.
Yummy P.
Oh! No! No!
Boss Tech. And Big Lex.
No! Did she just...
Okay. Got that out the way, got how I felt out the way, period, let's move on. No, it's like, nah. But I did circle some names on my script. I need to start acknowledging that I have a script. I be trying to get on this YouTube and act like I don't have scripts and that I remember everything from memory. I don't. So I'm gonna use this script. I'm gonna show, I have a script. I be writing things down. But I circled some names of girls that, you know, stuck out to moi. And I'm gonna talk about them. So the first one I want to talk about is Lucky. Lucky was the best thing on this show. There were some good people on the show, but like Lucky was the best. She was nice, she was sweet, she was pretty, she stood up for herself. If y'all didn't know, she was on season 1 of Jocelyn's Cabaret. The girls picked on her and made her cry. So this season she said she ain't doing that no more. And she did what needed to be done. She got in, I'm sure you guys have seen it, but Jocelyn's Cabaret has had like a lot of viral moments, from the double homicide comment to the fights, and particularly the fight with Lucky and Blueface Barbie. Well, the numerous fights, because they fight multiple times for different reasons. And I appreciated Lucky. I thought she was a great addition. I thought it was good. I thought she was entertaining, and she was very level-headed. She was very much reality TV done right. She didn't start fights with people, and she stood up for herself when she had to. You know, I like people who go on reality TV and they're just themselves. I don't like people who like feel the need to like go out of their way to make problems and to beef with people and to like put their hands on people for no reason. Now, she did put her hands on someone first, but I'm gonna get to that. And the next person I want to talk about is Blueface Barbie. And I'm gonna say flat out, Blueface Barbie makes me uncomfortable. She makes me very uncomfortable. I'm not gonna talk about people's appearances because that's mean, and God don't like ugly, so I'm not gonna be ugly. But she makes me uncomfortable. The things that she says, the way that she acts, it just makes me feel like something is not all the way correct in the brain area. And it makes me very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I'm not really feeling it. It's not really, no. She's a white girl who says the N-word, who just talks about like, she's just very adamant about the fact that she has like a pimp.
I don't know nothing about that lifestyle, whatever y'all got going on, because that's not me.
And that she gets money. Well, he's not her pimp, he's her manager. Her manager. She's made me very uncomfortable. Very, very uncomfortable. And it just seemed like she was very desperate to like get attention and to be known and to like, you know, assert her dominance, and it did not work out for her in the slightest. She makes me uncomfortable. And she's not the only person on this cast that makes me uncomfortable, but she makes me very uncomfortable. No, not for me. And Lucky did put her hands on her, but I don't advocate for violence on here. I think that's really messed up, and I would never advocate for someone to have their hands put on. But she said a racial slur. She's a white girl who said the N-word, so I'm not gonna say that she deserved to get beat up. I'm just gonna say, if you say a racial slur to somebody and you are not of that race, and someone puts their hands on you, I would consider that a consequence of your actions. And that's where I'm gonna leave that at. The next person I want to talk about is Aqua. So I'm sure if you watched Cabaret, or even if you didn't watch, if you saw the double homicide comment, she is the one who talked about, you know, she got an abortion of twins, and, you know, someone else in the cast, Big Lex, said the double homicide comment. I felt bad for Aqua. It was similar to like Kaylee on Bad Girls Club 16. It was like watching a puppy get ran over and over and over and over again. It felt like taking a small cat and you just smack it around all over and over and over. I felt really bad. It was very clear that she was a very sensitive soul. She wasn't very outspoken. She was very, you know, vulnerable. And even on the first episode, like, I'm gonna talk about this more in depth, but like on the first episode, Jocelyn has a conversation with her because she says that she wants to take her life, which is horrible. And the whole time I was thinking, like, she's not gonna make it to the end of this process. I don't think she's in a good mental or emotional or physical state to where she should be dealing with this volatile reality TV environment. And I just felt bad. It was like watching someone have an out-of-body experience. And I feel bad at all the things that happened to her. Spoiler alert, Jocelyn offers her a spot on Jocelyn's Cabaret Season 3. I think if she is smart, she will decline and run far, 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 far away. Because it's just not worth it. To me. I would not go on Jocelyn's Cabaret and get degraded for $10,000. It's not for me. For the chance to win $10,000, that's not for me. But I felt bad for I felt bad for Aqua, and I hope she's doing better. And she shared a lot of vulnerable things, like the abortion, being homeless, living out of her car, like having how her boyfriend left her and took everything, like after getting her pregnant. Like she was sharing a lot of. I'm not saying people can't be vulnerable, but I will say to share those deep and traumatic things with a group of women or just people in general that you don't know is a little bit risky. And I don't know if the risk paid off, but she said on the reunion that she didn't regret it, so more power to you, sis. The next person that I want to talk about is Miss Natural. Miss Natural really grew on me. I mean, I liked her in the beginning because I liked the fact that she like stood up for Aqua with the double homicide comment. I mean, a lot of people stood up for her, and I appreciated that. I will say with the Yummy P situation, I didn't fully understand it on the show. A lot of these girls have gone on and done interviews on YouTube about like what happened behind the scenes, and now I understand it more. I mean, yes, Yummy called her out on some stuff, and Yummy, I guess, you know, tried to downplay their friendship, but I felt like her reaction wasn't the best. I think when you're yelling at somebody and they're not giving you the response that you want and they're being very quiet, it makes you look really bad and makes you look like the aggressor, even if you're not the aggressor. But if you're yelling at somebody and they're just taking it, it makes you look like you're the aggressor and that you're picking on them and that you're being mean to them. But I mean, we're gonna get to Yummy in a second. But she grew on me. I enjoyed her by the end of the season, and I thought that I really enjoyed her on the reunion because I felt like her and Big Lex were the only two people who were putting Jocelyn in her place and saying what needed to be said. The next person I want to talk about is Yummy P, who is the second cast member who makes me uncomfortable. Yummy P made me very uncomfortable. The way that she talked and the way that she acted, it gave a very subtle, crazy vibe, like a screw was loose. Like Blueface Barbie is weird and made me uncomfortable, but Yummy made me very uncomfortable. Also, she's a 28-year-old woman who uses this very high-pitched, childlike voice, and it seems like she's trying to emulate a child to give what she calls a fantasy, and I just think that people who try to imitate prepubescence as a means to like present a fantasy or arouse or entice others, it makes me very uncomfortable, and I feel like that delves into like predatory behavior and like encourages predatory behavior. Like I just feel like if you have to soften your voice and your mannerisms and to appear younger, like a young child, in order to like be sexually appealing, that to me is very uncomfortable. It's very concerning and makes me uncomfortable. Yummy P made me very uncomfortable. Just the way that she talked. Let's not even mention the fact, I'm not gonna put the photo up, but like when she left the show, she did a confessional with no shirt on, no bra, and she had nipple piercings, and she had like incense that she lit on fire.
Oh yes, the camera loves your nastiness.
I mean, do I really need to say anything else? I don't think I need to say anything else. And then the last person I want to talk about is Big Lex. I did not like Big Lex in the beginning, mainly for the double homicide comment, and then on top of that, she like doubled down. However, Big Lex did say that she apologized afterwards off camera, but Aqua wasn't accepting it. Initially, when her and Aqua got into that fight, I was like, Big Lex is being a bully, that's so unnecessary. However, looking back at the footage, there were moments where, like when Big Lex got into a fight with Boss Tech, like Aqua and Blueface were trying to jump her. And then there were also moments where Aqua and Big Lex started an argument with each other. So like they were going back and forth and arguing with one another. So I mean, they had beef. So it wasn't like Big Lex was just coming at Aqua and Aqua was just like, you know, was not responding. Like they were both engaged with each other in a volatile manner. So it didn't make sense why she attacked her. She shouldn't have attacked her, but it made sense why she didn't like her. You know, it wasn't like, it was a mutual they had a mutual disdain for one another, if that makes any sense. Alright, next I want to talk about the show's tone. The show has an interesting tone. Like, I will say Jocelyn I'm gonna put this out here flat out. Zeus, Jocelyn's Cabaret is Zeus Network's best show. Haven't even watched all their shows, I don't need to. Jocelyn's Cabaret is by far Zeus Network's best show. And it blows Baddie ATL out the water, which is why after I finish the reunion part 2, I canceled my Zeus subscription because I will not be using it. And I'm not gonna watch season 3 because, it was entertaining. Don't get me wrong, it was entertaining, but I don't need this content in my life. And I really only watched it because people were talking about it. It was going viral, and I knew it would make good YouTube content to talk about it. So, hey, do what you gotta do. But the show definitely has, I won't even say tone issues. The show covers several tones. Like there are moments where people are being heartwarming. Like for example, you know, Jocelyn tells Aqua like, don't yourself, like don't, I need to bleep that out, but don't take your own life. You know, you should want to be here. You should, you know, live. Obviously, she didn't say it the most eloquently, but it's Jocelyn Hernandez. And then, you know, later on in the season, you know, she's calling Aqua homeless and talking about how she's horrible and yada yada yada. She's got her effed up. And then there was a moment where Aqua was dancing, and then Jocelyn made a comment about, you know, how this girl just had an abortion and she's shaking her behind in my face. So like, it was like Jocelyn, I will say Jocelyn was Jocelyn a lot nicer and calmer in some aspects on this show? Absolutely. Did she reach the level of maturity that an adult of her age should have? No. No, she did not. And I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like she did. It was like Jocelyn, when it came to Jocelyn, I'm gonna talk about Jocelyn more later, but it was very clear that like Jocelyn would take one step forward and then 15 steps back. Like she would say something nice, be very kind and caring and motherly to the girls, and then in the next thing you know, she's like going off on them. So like Jocelyn it couldn't be me. There has to be a clause in their contract that says they can't put their hands on Jocelyn because Jocelyn was saying some off-the-wall stuff to these girls. And then on top of that, like, a lot of things that didn't make sense. There was like a lot of nudity. Like, Zeus Network, you will see everything. You will see breast, you will see genitals, you will see behinds, butt cracks. Like, it's all uncensored. And one thing I didn't understand was there was a portion in the show where, you know, Jocelyn was like naked in the hot tub and her fiance got upset. But I'm like, dude, you guys had a scene like 2 episodes ago where like, she was in the bathtub with no bra on and no shirt and with her breast out. Y'all were like naked in the bathtub together. And she was like grinding on you. It was becoming very pornographic. So I was trying to figure out why he was so adamant about her like being naked, as if half the girls in his cast aren't naked on this show. Like, Jocelyn Hernandez was naked in a scene with you. And it was broadcast to thousands of people. So a lot of things didn't make sense to me. I was just like, the show had a lot of different tones, okay? It had a lot of different tones, and it was just a whiplash. But I think that made it great TV. Now, next I'm gonna talk about Jocelyn, and like I already said, Jocelyn, has she shown some growth from Jocelyn from Love and Hip Hop? Absolutely, but was the growth of an adult of her age? No, it was not. Jocelyn Hernandez degraded these girls like a mug. But if any of them said anything to her, it's a problem. Like, she would degrade these girls, call them homeless, dirty, nasty, broke, drunks, fat, sloppy, and then if they said anything to her or did not worship her feet, she'd rip them a new behind. So I'm just like, Jocelyn was very contradictory. It's like she wanted these girls, respect has to be earned. You cannot demand respect from people. I mean, you can, but it won't always work. You have to give respect to get respect. And Jocelyn Hernandez is not like giving respect to people. She likes saying what she wants to say, do what she wants to do, and you will deal with it. And I don't think that's a good attitude to have. And it made portions of the season I didn't like watching. Especially the reunion, which we're gonna talk about right now. The reunion was a mess. The reunion for Jocelyn's Cabaret was a mess. We learned that Joss does not know how long a decade is because she's been in this business for 10 decades, 100 years. She had a meeting with the girls before the reunion and basically told them that they need to like worship her feet, and if they say anything that she doesn't, and if they say anything that she does not like, they have to get off the stage, which does not make a good reunion. Like, if that's the case, then the girls shouldn't have been there. The reunion should have been Jocelyn, Boss Tech, the host, and that's it. And the production, that's it. If Jocelyn Hernandez wanted these girls to sit on stage and not say anything against her after she degraded them, like ran them through the mud, ran them ragged, then she should not have opened her mouth. She should have been kind. You have to be kind to people. You cannot call people homeless and dirty and ugly and horrible and say that you're gonna beat them up and smack them or knock them out and then think they're gonna respect you. It doesn't work that way. Jocelyn Hernandez she's very delusional. She makes great TV, but she is a delusional person. Delusional. And at the end of the day, yes, her songs went viral, but the songs were funny and catchy. It's not like, she's not a good musical artist. Jocelyn Hernandez is not getting a Grammy for Do It Like It's My B-Day. And you know, hey, if she does, I will come back here and I will retract it and I will apologize for this statement. But I don't think she's getting a Grammy from that song. I'm sorry. And then on top of that, Jocelyn, she made a comment about someone's, you know, Sapphire, who was a cast member who was a member of the cast. The father, her children had passed away, and Jocelyn brought that up as like a dig. Horrible. Jocelyn is a horrible person, and we've known this. And I think people who are on social media saying cancel Jocelyn, like, y'all should have been canceled her. This is the same woman who stood up to Stevie J's teenage daughter and said, you can't beat me. Like, Jocelyn has crossed several boundaries of etiquette and decency. So for us to get on here and pretend like Jocelyn Hernandez being a horrible person is different and new, stop it. You're fooling yourself. Not saying that you can't be outraged, but I'm just saying, if we're gonna bring up Jocelyn's Cabaret, bring up everything that she's done. She's done a lot of horrible things. She said a lot of horrible things and off-the-wall things. She's done a lot of terrible things. So let's not pretend like this is something new. And on top of that, one of the other things that was really horrible, not really horrible, but like Noel, who was one of the co-hosts, she went on live to defend herself and basically that she only did the reunion because Jocelyn asked her to, and that she didn't even watch the show. So I'm like, how are you a host and you ain't watched the, how you gonna take a test and you ain't study? How you gonna take a test and you ain't study? That didn't make no sense. And then she really got paid to sit there and kiss Jocelyn's behind and agree with what Jocelyn said. And then telling the girls that, oh yeah, Jocelyn gave you a platform and she, you know, you gotta be grateful. Like, you can be grateful, but just because someone gives you an opportunity does not mean that they have the right to degrade you. Just because somebody gave you an opportunity or an employment does not give them the right to degrade you and, you know, treat you less than human. Treat you with less respect than you deserve. Like, that's like saying, that's like getting hired for a job and then your manager calling you garbage every morning and like throwing things at you and threatening to hit you. Like, just because someone gives you a job doesn't mean they can talk to you any type of way. Like, everybody's entitled to respect. So I thought that was really nasty. And she did make a statement to Jocelyn that you have to, like, respect has to be earned. But she still said a lot of horrible things. But, I mean, she doesn't care. Like, these people on reality TV, they don't care. As long as the check clear, they're gonna act horrible. And Noel did have a good point on her live. She said that, you know, people on reality TV make money because it's in demand. If people didn't watch people like Jocelyn, then Jocelyn would be out of a job. So I'd say if you watch Jocelyn Cabaret, or if you do watch it and you get offended by the things that you see, stop watching it. Stop giving them your money. Stop letting them take money from you. Stop funding it with your views. Step away. Just step away and do something else. And then the last thing I want to talk about was the Big Lex situation. So at the reunion, you know, Big Lex and Miss Natural were really the GOATs because they were the only people talking back to Jocelyn, like, letting her have it. And it was clear that every girl on the stage had an issue with Jocelyn, but they were either too scared or didn't want to say anything. And Big Lex and Miss Natural had to do it to the point where Jocelyn had them escorted off stage, they had to come back, yada yada yada. But Jocelyn threw a candle at Big Lex, and then Jocelyn's fiance, Best Ballistic, who was respectful the entire season towards the women, tried to come and fight her.
I know that ain't who I think it is.
And it's like, you're a grown man getting in women's business, and one, and two, you weren't even a big part of the show, so you shouldn't have been on the stage whatsoever. But how are you a man approaching a woman like you're gonna two-piece her? Didn't make sense, and it was really nasty, and it left a bad taste in my mouth. And on top of that, while Big Lex was getting, you know, assaulted, Boss Tech and Aqua, other women were getting up and throwing things at her, adding on to the violence of this man who was coming at her in a threatening way, like he's about to hit her. I thought that was just a really nasty situation. I thought that was one of those moments where reality TV goes too far. It was nasty, it was unnecessary, it was gross, it was indecent, and it really just solidified the fact that I'm not watching season 3, and I'm not gonna watch any show that Jocelyn is on, any platform I'm not supporting. I am stepping down. I don't care. I'm done. It was horrible. But overall, this show was problematic, but funny. I mean, what can I say? The show is problematic, but funny. And that's all I have to say. So I hope you guys enjoyed this show. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you know, once again, I hope you enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe. My name is Cameron Noel, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.
boy toy named Troy used to live in Detroit. Big dope dealing money, he was getting some coins. Wasn't shootouts with the law, but he lived in a palace.